the school shooting in Tacloban. DepEd has raised the alarm over violence, but what triggers minors to commit such crimes? Now let's bring in Dr. Summer Parcon, Associate Professor at UP Diliman Psychology Department. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, good evening, Ses.
You know, what happened in Tacloban is really shocking to all of us. And the idea that bullying can spark violence in minors, how do you explain how this affects a child psychologically?
Siguro we need to see aggression and violent tendencies as a very complicated concept, no? Hindi kasi siya linear na pag nangyari ito agad yung outcome. So we need to see violence as a very complex, cumulative, interactive behavior. Kumbaga maraming pwedeng mag-cause ng violence. Hindi lang basta-basta bullying. Maraming iba't ibang mga bagay na pwedeng maging rason para dito.
But we have to point out also, Doc, that we rank quite high in bullying in schools in many studies. In fact, merong study that shows us ranked number 1.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you noted this also in your research into families, for instance?
Yes. Totoo naman na bullying has a lot of negative effects on the children, especially in their mental health. It causes certain anxiety, lalong-lalo na kapag hindi napaprocess to, wala siyang nasasabihan. So I think yung mga bagay na ito kapag nag-bottled up at hindi niya naproseso, maaaring magdulot ito ng some aggressive or violent tendencies.
Bakit po kaya mataas ang rate ng bullying sa Pilipinas?
Totoo naman, no, kahit may mga studies, even pre-pandemic, more than 50% na of Filipino students reported being victims of bullying. And I guess maraming factors dito, but yung isa ay yung kawalan ng perspective taking. Nawawalan din tayo ng pakikiramdam, hindi natin nakikita yung nararamdaman ng mga biktima nito. So parang sa atin, akala natin okay lang.
Kulang tayo sa pag-iintindi sa mga bata. Parang ganun. Is it
Tsaka
from
siguro-
the home or the school? Who lacks this capability to empathize, ano? Parang empathize.
Empathy.
Oh.
Lack of empathy, lack of perspective taking, tsaka yung normalizing itong aggressive tendency. So akala natin okay lang. So yung posibleng dahilan nito, karamihan nakikita natin mula sa pamilya. Yung dynamics ng pamilya, ng violence sa pamilya, child neglect, child abuse, no? Pero minsan nakikita rin natin to sa school kasi nakikita natin na yung bullying nare-reward siya sa school. Hindi siya nare-reprimand or hindi rin siya napipigilan ng mga teachers. So akala ng mga bata, akala nila
They can
okay
get
lang.
away with it or it's normal. So it's a societal problem, no?
Yes. So, hindi lang siya individual problem, systematic din yung problem eh. Makikita natin sa pamilya, sa school, pati rin sa neighborhood. So again, yung violence hindi siya very linear, hindi siya very causative. Interactive yung cumulative and interactive yung possible causes nito.
Now, Doc, the DepEd has raised the alarm over copycat behaviors like in Western school shootings. Is this a real threat?
It is kasi lalong-lalo na sa mga bata. Kasi kung hindi ito napoproseso sa kanila, maaaring makita nila na meron tayong tinatawag na contagion effect na matitrigger na, okay pala to, na-sensationalize siya, it gained attention.
Parang
So,
sumikat pa sila, parang ganon.
Oo, pwede ko palang gawin. So ang problema doon ay we have to be careful about sharing and spreading this kind of stories, lalong-lalo na kapag walang context at hindi nalalagay yung pagproseso nito.
Okay. So, for us in media, how would you advise us to handle such a story?
Mm. Um, so kailangan maging careful tayo in the words that we use, especially in portraying, for example, the suspect. So marami ako nakikita na nasi-share na nandun hindi man siya mukha nung suspect pero ma-identify natin. We have to be careful about that. Even yung mga violent videos that are being circulated around, we need to be careful on how um, we show it so that the children will not mimic or see na it's glamorized or sensationalized in media.
So not just us in media, but in traditional media, but social media. Social media.
Especially in social media.
Yes, yes. Now, this brings me to mind. This brings to mind the move. Well, I just see it as one of a solution to limit or to bar minors from social media.
Mm. It has been a very active discussion kung ano nga ba yung effects ng social media at ito ay pinag-aaralan din at pinag-aaralan pa. So, hindi pa natin nakikita kung ano yung specific age kung saan pwede nang gamitin yung social media. But what we see in research, napaka-importante nung co-regulation or processing of the social media content with the parents or with the adult. So, kailangan pa rin may adult supervision.
Okay. I've two last questions. Could this also be a result of, OFW families? Kulang na sa monitoring ng mga magulang. Binibigay kumbaga parang tiga-alaga na lang yung mga or kamag-anak who have other children. Is this also a factor?
Definitely. Violence, aggression, in most of the research, ang isa sa pinaka-significant factor niyan ay yung family. Family involvement, parental involvement, monitoring. So, napaka-importante na meron tayong magulang na nandyan. Pero dahil Filipino family din tayo, hindi lang siguro magulang, but any adult that would help you in processing
Yeah.
everything that is happening in your life as a child and as a teenager.
And finally, you're saying the copycat can be real because children or the youth cannot process what they're seeing. They think lang parang sikat sila rather than something to condemn. Is that a way of putting it?
Pwede kasing meron na silang naiisip na ganito. At kapag nakita na nila na nag-glamorize, nabigyan ng attention, na sensationalize, pwedeng mabigyan sila ng idea na pwede pala itong gawin. So, and like what you said, napakahalaga ng pagpoproseso ng mga information na ito sa mga bata.
All right, we thank you so much for your insights and for talking to us, Dr. Summer Parcon of UP Diliman Psychology Department.